Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Pharaoh's dreams. 41 Then it came to pass, at the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. 2 Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. 3 Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. 4 And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. So Pharaoh awoke. 5 He slept and dreamed a second time, and suddenly 7 heads of grain came up on one stalk, plump and good. 6 Then behold, 7 thin heads, blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. 7 And the 7 thin heads devoured the 7 plump and full heads. So Pharaoh awoke, and indeed it was a dream. 8 Now it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. And Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. 9 Then the chief butler spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my faults this day. 10 When Pharaoh was angry with his servants, and put me in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, both me and the chief baker. 11 We each had a dream in one night, he and I. Each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. 12 Now there was a young Hebrew man with us there, a servant of the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. 13 And it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. 14 Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him quickly out of the dungeon. And he shaved, changed his clothing, and came to Pharaoh. 15 And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I have heard it said of you that you can understand a dream, to interpret it. 16 So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. 17 Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Behold, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river. 18 Suddenly 7 cows came up out of the river, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. 19 Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and gaunt, such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Egypt. 20 And the gaunt and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. 21 When they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were just as ugly as at the beginning. So I awoke. 22 Also I saw in my dream, and suddenly 7 heads came up on one stalk, full and good. 23 Then behold, 7 heads, withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. 24 And the thin heads devoured the 7 good heads. So I told this to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me. 25 Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 26 The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. The dreams are one. 27 And the 7 thin and ugly cows, which came up after them, are 7 years, and the 7 empty heads blighted by the east wind are 7 years of famine. 28 This is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 29 Indeed 7 years of great plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt. 30 But after them 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine will deplete the land. 31 So the plenty will not be known in the land because of the famine following, for it will be very severe. 32 And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. 33 Now therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. 34 Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint sea officers over the land, to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. 35. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. 36. Then that food shall be as a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. Joseph's rise to power. 37. So the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. 38. And Pharaoh said to his servants, Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God? 39. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. 40. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you. 41. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. 42. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring off his hand, and put it on Joseph's hand, and he clothed him in garments of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. 43. And he had him ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried out before him, Bow the knee. So he set him over all the land of Egypt. 44. Pharaoh also said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent no man may lift his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him as a wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar priest of On. So Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. 46. Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. 47. Now in the 7 plentiful years the ground brought forth abundantly. 48. So he gathered up all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. He laid up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. 49. Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. 50. And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar priest of On, bore to him. 51. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. 52. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. 53. Then the 7 years of plenty, which were in the land of Egypt, ended. 54. And the 7 years of famine began to come, as Joseph had said. The famine was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. 55. So when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Then Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, Go to Joseph. Whatever he says to you, do. 56. The famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses, and sold to the Egyptians. And the famine became severe in the land of Egypt. 57. So all countries came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain, because the famine was severe in all lands.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.